كل من اهتدى بهديه واستنى بسنته وصار على منواله إلى يوم القرار والدين. أما بعد, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. With all protocols duly and respectfully observed, today is the 23rd day of the month of Safar 1437 Hijrah, the 6th day of the month of December 2015. Before I go into the topic properly, it is a debt on me to welcome once again these scholars that I have invited from far and wide. In so doing, I have composed just 11 lines of Arabic poems, especially for those with the taste of Arabic language amongst you. And these poems is in Nuniya form, Abiyatun Akhiruha Nun, from one of the Al-Buhur of Arabic poetry. To welcome the brothers, Mufti Ismail Menk, Dr. Muhammad Salah, or Salah, Haytham Al-Haddad, my brother Saeed Draghi from Canada, and of course Sister Naima Robert, and some of us, the homers. When I say homers, what I mean? My Amir, Imam Abdul Rahman here, Sister Maryam Lemu, and let me welcome myself, my humble self as well. Okay, the abiyats, just listen to them. هنيئا لكم يا فرحتي لوصولكم على متن السلم قادمين إلى هنا، فأهلا بكم ترحيبا سهل مودة إليكم جميعا قادة الدين والدنا، وهذا أخ منكم يزف إليكم تحيات إيمان دعاها سرورنا، لدى مسلمي نيجيريا شرف كذا، لهم بهجة أن جاء حقا ضيوفنا، أيا قادة الإسلام والدين سرتم منار الهدى تهواه طبعا قلوبنا، طبعا قلوبنا، لذا كان دينا في عنق ذوي التقى يقومون بالترهيب أوجب ديننا على الكل ذا الخلق الكريم ديانة ليرضى به خلاقنا ومليكنا، فأرجو لكم ساداتنا كل محمد من الخير تلو الخير تاقت نفوسنا، إليه دواما لا انقطاع إلى الأبد، ويبقى رجاء الأفو وهو سؤالنا، وأرجو لكم للدار عودا مكرما بغفران ذنب سولته قلوبنا. ثم قلت أخيرا: وصلى الإله الرب والفضل والكرم، وصلى الإله الرب ذو الفضل والكرم على المصطفى الهادي نحاه ضميرنا. So, like I was saying, the abiyat are just 11 lines in Nuniya forms to register my heartfelt gratitude for these scholars to come to Nigeria to participate in this August gathering. Now, the topic given to me is what went wrong, the missing link, or the missing of understanding as Islam as a moderator. Now, it is talking about al-ghulu, and al-ghulu means committing excesses in the religion. To understand Islam wrongly to go beyond the borders, pretending that that is the religion, and it is not. The Quran al-Karim, in a lot of verses, has spoken against committing extremism and committing excesses. Take, for example, in Surah number 5, ayah number 77, warning the people of the book, the Christians and the Jews, قُلْ يَا أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ لَا تَغْلُوا فِي دِينِكُمْ غَيْرَ الْحَقِّ. O ye people of the book, don't go beyond the limit. Don't commit excesses in the matters of your religion. Here the point, don't commit excesses. Don't go beyond the limits. Maintain yourself within the bounds of the deen. Example, if you claim Jesus is God himself, this is committing act of excesses. If you tell me one sheikh, one alim is a nabi after Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's an act of extremism. If you want to be praying all the night without sleeping, that is wrong. Because وَجَعَلْنَا نَوْمَكُمْ سُبَاتًا, you have to sleep to have a rest. If you tell me you want to observe fasting endlessly, ceaselessly, that is another nasty example of extremism. If you want to call every person a kafir because he is not according to your own view and understanding, that is another example of what? Extremism. So we are here to draw our attention to the beauty of moderation and maintaining the middle course line of understanding. The Quran says in Surah number 2, ayah 143, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً what? وَسَطًا. We made you al-ummah having middle course understanding. You don't go beyond the limit and don't go before the limit. Strike a balance between the two extreme ends. Not for historical purpose. There was one man called Dhul Khuwaysira Tamimi. This man, Dhul Khuwaysira, came to the Prophet in Medina, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The Prophet shared some material, some money, amount of money, but the guy looked at the Prophet scornfully, saying to Muhammad, "I'dil ya Muhammad, i'dil, i'dil, O Allah's Messenger, do justice." To the Prophet, what did he say? What was the answer? The Prophet said, "Khibta wa khasirta." In one riwayah, "Khibtu ana wa khasirtu illam a'dil." I am doomed if I cannot maintain justice. I am doomed, or you are doomed, pathologically doomed, condemnably condemned, if I cannot maintain justice. Who are you talking to me in this manner? The ulama said that was the beginning of extremism. And he said, this man سيخرج من ضئ هذا أقوام تحقرون صلاتكم مع صلاتهم ويقرؤون القرآن لا يجاوز حناجرهم. This man, from his back, from his own line, people will emerge that he will belittle your prayer in the way they pray. They read the Quran, but does not go beyond their throat. They will leave the deen quickly. If you get them, do away with them. That marked the beginning of extremism, excessiveness in the matter of religion. And he used to meet his wives. These people said, well, if that is the Prophet, who are we? One of them said, well, I am going to maintain fasting ceaselessly, endlessly, perpetually. The other guy said, well, I am not going to meet my wife any longer, conjugally speaking. The third guy said, and I am going to keep sleepless nights. When the Prophet heard this, he ostracized them. He condemned them. He disowned them. Yeah. He said, that is not Islam. I am better than you people are. I get married. I sleep and wake up. And I say, no, I am not. If you care to answer him. Otherwise, because إذا صفيه فلا تجبه فخير من إجابته السكوت فإن كلمته فرجت عنه وإن خليته كمدا يموت. If the fool, the nincompoop, the foolish talks, maintain silence. Your silence is more killing than your talking. Yeah. وصمت عن جاهل أو أحمق شرف. How many? How many of the sisters have time to teach them prophetic hadith? Ask your child. And I'm throwing these questions to you. Hey, let me ask you. Quran is also called A, Furqan, B, At-Tanzil, C, Al-Kitab, D, all of the above. What is the answer? What's the answer? All of the above? Beautiful. Al-Kaaba is also known as Al-Bayt, Ad-Dar, Al-Ghurfa. Which is the correct answer? Get me well. Kaaba is also called Al-Bayt, Ad-Dar, Al-Ghurfa. Al-Bayt, 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 then قُلْ هَاتُوا بُرْهَانَكُمْ. Any ayah to support it? Yes. فَلْيَعْبُدُوا رَبَّ هَذَا or رَبَّ هَذَا الدَّارِ or رَبَّ هَذِهِ الْغُرْفَةِ. I am saying in essence, it is part of capturing the heart of our children before they derail. Because if they intermingle with the people who claim to be religious, they are irreligious, then you are to be blamed. Catch them young, teaching them things. The story of the Sahaba. Ask them when Bilal was dragged in Mecca like a dead animal by his master Umayyah ibn Khalaf. Did the Sahaba revolt? They will have revolted. Let them be killed all. But they maintain positive patience, resilience, tolerance until Allah brought to them the way out. Sumayya, you know Sumayya? Who can tell me the father of Nana Sumayya? Before I count 5, because I enjoy asking questions in lecture. 1 from the brothers. Yes, 1 hand here. Okay, from the sisters. Allahu Akbar. No answer. No hand. Yes, the mother of Sumayya, the father, her father. Naam, that is her son. Her son, Ammar ibn Yasir. Yasir is her husband, I'm sorry. Ammar, her son. I'm talking about her father. It's part of it. You want to tell me you don't know this? Then how do we combat extremism in the children? As a teacher, as a mother, as a father, how? It is through knowledge. Knowledge acquired from the source of Islam, Al-Quran, was-Sunnah, wa ala fahmi salaf al-Ummah. Okay, I will give you options. Her father is known as A, Abu Bakr, B, Khayyat, C, Khabbab. My sisters, answer me, because it is more of your own question than their own question. Yeah. Who is the father of Sumayya? Abu Bakr, Khayyat, Khabbab? No answer? Naam? Khabbab. Do you agree? The name of her father is not Khabbab, it's Khayyat. It's part of it. You don't fight extremism by extremism or dogmatism, through education, enlightenment campaign. Try to enlighten the heart of your children. These are the Sahaba. For example, Khabbab ibn al-Arad used to be roasted alive in Mecca for his iman, but they were quiet until after migration to Medina. In surah number 22, Allah says, أذن للذين يقاتلون بأنهم ظلموا وإن الله على نصرهم لقدير. Those that were fought were wronged, and Allah gave them permission to fight back. Now, in the process of de-radicalizing their hearts, because de-radicalization is very important, education through Tawheed. Where is Allah? Teach them. What does Allah say concerning Prophet ﷺ? Explain to them. Allah's attributes should be explained to them. This is the missing link, the missing understanding. All right? If somebody comes to your house, my son is a non-Muslim, and I give you his breakfast to him, what will you do to him? Do you ask him to become a Muslim instantly or let him pack out of your house? Don't do that. The Prophet ﷺ had a visitor from Egypt, from Mawqoqis. You know Mawqoqis? From Egypt. The guy was a Christian, a medical doctor of his own time. He was well kept, well maintained, well fed, well taken care of, until he became ashamed of himself. He went to Prophet and said, Ya Rasulullah, O Ya Muhammad, I have been sent by my master to look at those sick amongst you, but you have not produced to me one single patient. You kept on giving me what to eat. It's a Christian in Medina. He said, we are not sick because we don't eat until we are hungry. And if we eat, we are not belly full. You know belly full, Nigerian English? The point here is that he was neither compelled nor coerced or forced. In the spirit of La ikraha fi din, no compulsion. That is why I was even talking to some students in Kano. If you go to Kano areas for Marcus hours, preaching, whatever, don't start by condemning them. Oh, you kafirs. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Try to employ the ways of hikmah, wisdom. Similarly, you are debating with a Christian, don't say in the book of the blah 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 there is a lie. Don't do that. Try to be civil. Try to be accommodating and accommodative, understanding. Perchance, perhaps, he understands you better. So going to school, learning, and good behavior is very important. Like I was saying, teach people the books of knowledge. Ask them to memorize same, for example. Take the book of Al-Imam Nasir Sa'di, his Al-Qawaid al-Fiqhiyya. Read the book, memorize the poems. Give it good commentary, scholarly commentary. Allow people to know the meaning of the book and its content. Then practice it by going out for our work in a village where you will see non-Muslims backing at you, even threatening your life. How do you respond to the situation? It's a challenging reality. Then control your temper. Be a good Muslim with attitudinal responsibility. Be a teacher, a kind man. Look at him as a patient. You are the doctor. You have to be patient, extra patient. Otherwise, you scarcely succeed. That will help in mitigating the spate of extremism. In our schools, you have to be careful of the kind and the class of people or the company your child keeps. Yeah, keeping good company is very important in determining how strong our resolve to fight extremism. The Arabs say, إذا كنت في قوم فصاحب خيارهم ولا تسحب الأرض فتردى مع الردي عن المرء لا تسأل وصل عن قرينه فكل قرين بالمقارن what يقتدي. Meaning, tell me who your friends are and I will tell you who you are. The birds of a feather, they say, flock together. So during school, you have to be very careful. Let me see your notebooks. What have you been taught? Which people do you go out with? Your children, your girls, your daughters. It is your responsibility. قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَهْلِيكُمْ نَارًا. Programs in the media that tend to be very violent, we should be very careful. Try to be moderator. Tell your child, don't look at such movie. It preaches, it spreads violence, the behavior of killing, or what I call spiritual excessiveness, committing zina. A'udhu billah. Man touching a woman, committing the satanically driven evil act. Children are seen. Allah will ask you, because each and every human being has two parts. In the Quran, surah number 38, verses 71 to 72, Allah says, إذ قال ربك للملائكة إني خالق بشرا من طين فإذا سويته ونفخت فيه من روحي فقعوا له ساجدين. I am going to create a man from the dust. After creating him, I'm blowing into him of my spirit. This tells you each and every human being has two parts: physical part and spiritual. They are inseparably together like a sausage. So you have to be careful. Teach him so that his own spiritual makeup is maintained. Otherwise, he drifts from the right way. So like I was saying, my emphasis is not about excellence is there, but the ways out. The ways out. Conferences should be organized like this. Invite people with dogmatic views. Let them come. Say what you want to say. The scholars are there. Let it be debated. In the light of knowledge, billahi al-azim, you will see them packing out of the hall. فَسَيَنْقَلِبُونَ صَاغِرِينَ. But if they are in one place, as one place, what will happen? Take the method of Ali ibn Abi Talib. You know what happened? Ali ibn Abi Talib one day in Iraq, the Khawarij, you know Khawarij, came to him, abusing him, denigrating him, character assassinating him, you know. But he sent Abdullah ibn Abbas. You know Ibn Abbas, the great Mufassir, Hafiz, Qari, jurist, you name it. There were about 8,000 of the Kharijite. After having a debate with Ibn Abbas, 4,000 left the dogmatic extremism on account of sound knowledge, convincing knowledge. You don't de-radicalize by radicalizing people. It is through positive knowledge, sound argument. بالحكمة والموت الحسنة وجادلهم Bil Ahsan. Wallahi, about 4,000 of the, let me call them terrorists, though I'm very careful about the term, and extremists, they left the negative ways. So what I'm saying is also very important. If anybody has a negative view about Islam or wrong concept, organize debate, organize symposia, whatever you call it. Let them come. قُلْ هَاتُوا بُرْهَانَكُمْ إِن كُنْتُمْ what? صادقين. If somebody tells you, as an example, Umar ibn al-Khattab, it's a good example I want to give you. Umar ibn al-Khattab was the causative agent of the death of Nana Fatima. There are some people making this insinuation that Umar caused the death of Fatima. Do you agree? Raise your hands. Nobody will agree, because it's a lie. It's a blatant lie. But one boy has been indoctrinated to believe in this. He accepted it. He grows up like this. So how do you employ sound and good knowledge to remove this negative beliefs heart? Go to history books, impeccable books, academically compliant books written with good standards. Convince him. But if you go on abusing, you are a kafir, you are proving nothing. He tells you, well, it's because you don't have something to say. But invite him, show him he is wrong. And in the process, go to the books of learning. I heard about another example. A lady who was saying, because of extremism, that, hey, you scholars, you don't worry, as you talk about consuming alcohol is forbidden. Yeah, it's forbidden. But Allah has forbidden to consume. But to sell it is not forbidden. It is only consuming that Allah has made forbidden. But to sell it is not haram. Another extremism. Wrong idea. I told the guys, try and convince her through proofs of the Quran and Sunnah. In Islam, if Allah says armed robbery is haram, don't ask him what about selling guns to the armed robbers. If Allah says committing zina is haram, don't ask him what about giving a house to a prostitute, a'udhu billah, for her business. No. If something is made to be haram, the way to it is to haram. The ulama say, وَسَائِلُ الْأَشْيَاءِ كَالْمَقَاصِدِ فَحْكُمْ لِهَذَا الْحُكُمِ لِلشَّوَارِدِ. Any means to an end. If the end is unjustified, the means remains unjustified. Don't tell me the end justifies the mean. That is un-Islamic. I mean, extremism is not only about those taking gun, bombing. It's not all that. There are others claiming to be civilized with extremism in their heart. It tells you, well, it's my right to take my wife to party. It's not bad. It's extremism. Yeah. What is wrong in eating pork? I'm living in the West. A'udhu billah. Wallahi al-azim. Somebody told me last July when I was in New York City, he went to the shop of a Muslim, a Yemenite Muslim, an Arab Muslim. But you know what? That Muslim was selling alcohol. A Muslim. When he entered the shop, the guy said, hey, salamu alaikum ya akhi, ya akhi. Then the Muslim said, anta min ayn? He said, ana min Jahannam. Anta min Jahannam? He said, what is bad? He said, hotel is bad. I can sell pork, pornographic materials, it's not bad. I am saying that is another form of what? Extremism. Yeah. Extremism. Or some people, in the name of women liberation, will be condemning the idea of a man marrying more than one wife. She will be saying, why should you marry more than one? I'm enough for you. ayah you quote, she says no to that. She's an extremist. Extremism. Extremism. So we have to know all this. And the only way out, like I was saying, is through seeking for knowledge and practicing the content of that knowledge appropriately with the intention of achieving Allah's endorsement and Allah's pleasure. Ana min Jahannam. He said this. Ana min Jahannam. La ilaha illallah. Another form of extremism, what I call, because of Bokoist mentality. Kun san Bokoism ko? Na sha faɗa Bokoism. Ra'ayin 'yan Boko. Because of Bokoist mentality, she does not cook for her husband because she is developed, she is liberated. She tells him, hey, go to the kitchen. You too can cook as I have cooked for you. Extremism. And it is very, very destructive. When you see the guy coming back very late, throwing parties, keeping mistresses, another form of extremism. Or scholars giving fatwa to play to the gallery because of the seats of Umrah and Hajj on a yearly basis. I call this scholastic extremism. Or people committing bid'ah and bid'atic practices. You should be Quranically and Sunnatically driven and not bid'atically driven. Is another form of what? Extremism. I have been told my time has been up, but I want to tell you this topic of discussion is very wide, multifaceted, multidimensional. It calls for having many lecturers to look at the angles of the lecture, but suffice it to say, I have explained through some of the verses and the hadith of the Rasulullah. Finally, to combat, obliterate, uproot, and just extremism, we need the followings. Purity of intention, that's number one. Al-Ikhlas. Is it for the sake of Allah you want to convince him, or you just want to be heard? To carry the day. If that is your intention, you fail woefully. Let Ikhlas be your trademark. Because Allah lillahi dinul khalis. وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُ اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ. That's number one. Number two, you too should be armed with knowledge from the Quran and Sunnah based on the comprehension of the pious predecessors. That is very important. Number three, employ hikmah and wisdom in calling him. As Ibn Abbas did, he convinced about 4,000 people at a time. Number four, government should come and intervene. Don't tell me you have freedom to do as you wish. No. One of the functions of government to ensure security. They are saying any government that cannot provide 5 things is no longer democratic, it is kakistocratic. If it cannot provide security for the citizenry, and I'm telling you, absence of balanced understanding breeds insecurity through extremism. Yeah. So security is very important. Food production, quality education, job opportunities, sound and balanced and positive healthcare delivery system. We call this quintuple alternative for achieving dividend of democracy. Otherwise, it is kakistocracy. In this connection, you combat extremism through enlightened people. Number four, for time factor, reach out to the people affected and infected by extremism. Pay them a visit. Give them books, lectures presented, scholarly presented, documented evidences. Perhaps they understand. لعلهم يفقهون لعلهم يعقلون لعلهم يعلمون. And number 6, we have to look at our teaching system. I mean syllabus, whatever. We make sure balanced Islamic teachings are taught. When I say balanced, I mean balanced. No excessiveness, based on the Quran and Sunnah and Sahaba's understanding is very important. Number 7, it is very important for you to be attending scholars conferences like this, where scholars of substance are invited who know what they are doing, and don't hesitate to ask any question that will make you out of trouble. Is very important, because to ask is an important recipe for getting out of the woods. And number 8, inshallah, then 19, I'll stop there. You should understand that reading the Quran on daily basis, weekly basis, fortnight basis, depending on your capacity, is very important in making sure your heart is purified. By this I mean not only recitation, but understanding based on good interpretation by the scholars. When I say good, I mean good. Mark it carefully. Number 9, make sure you take your children to good schools. When I say good, I don't mean where a huge amount of money is paid. There are some schools in Abuja, I learned their school fees is in dollars. I say, wonderful, congratulations. In dollars. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا dollars. Subhanallah. So you see, that does not necessarily guarantee knowledge or good understanding. Number 10, try and tell your children or the people generally, look, if you maintain balanced understanding of Islam, Allah will reward you abundantly, because finally you are dying. Look at A, B, C, D have died. Somebody sent me through social media, our brother Prince Abu Bakr Audu, late governor of Kogi State. Subhanallah, I almost cried. Here he was shown in his palace, gorgeously decorated. Under his grave, La ilaha illallah, say, hey, he was here some years back, but now he is inside the earth, 6 inches down the earth. Then they say maybe decomposing now, eaten up by the worms. La ilaha illallah. And it is true. I want to tell you, this makes your heart softened. Go back to Allah. Draw the attention of people that finally we are living this life. Once again, I'm repeating and emphasizing on the importance of seeking for knowledge from scholars of note, not only celebrities, those who know what is scholarship. Not just because of certificate. That is not knowledge. Not only through lectures, we have what we call the means of seeking for knowledge, from the cover to the cover. And you should all know, each and every human being has but only 5 days in this life. 5 days, 5 days. يوم مفقود, يوم مشهود, يوم مورود, يوم موعود, يوم ممدود. They are the only days. You have Yom Mafqud, the lost day. Lost is lost, is gone. Like yesterday is Yom Mafqud, it's gone. Gone over. The second day is Yom Mashhud, the present day that we're living in right now. The next day is Mawrud, to come tomorrow, is yet to arrive. And the fourth day is Maw'ud, the promised day. The day you take your exit from this sinful life. You leave your wife, your children, your husband, whatever. You go to the Mother Earth. And finally, Yawmun Mamdud, the extended day, That is Al-Qiyamah. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.